born to an English king. Historians estimate that he had approximately 16 illegitimate daughters and 9 illegitimate sons from a variety of mistresses. Although Fitzstephen, the ship's captain, managed to swim to the surface, he allowed himself to drown rather than tell the king of William's death. This grim responsibility was left to an unidentified young boy. On hearing the news, Henry broke down and fell to the floor. Widowed and in his early 50s, it seemed unlikely that Henry would ever produce another male heir. His son's death had truly set England on the road to disaster. The Succession Crisis. In the aftermath of William's death, Henry's attention naturally turned to the issue of the succession. In a last-ditch attempt to procure a legitimate male heir, a second marriage was suggested to Adélisa of Louvain. Young and attractive, it was hoped that she would quickly conceive a son. The marriage took place at Windsor Castle on the 29th of January 1121, with Adélisa's coronation carried out the following day. In the meantime, Henry looked to his immediate family for a possible heir to his throne, should his plans for a son by Adélisa fail. Although he had other children, their illegitimacy ruled them out as potential candidates, though he had a particular fondness for the eldest, Robert, Earl of Gloucester. He had nephews, too, to consider. Stephen of Blois, for instance. After all, Stephen had been living in his household for several years and had already demonstrated impressive military and political skills on a previous trip to Normandy. But William Adelin was not Henry's only legitimate child. So far unconsidered, Matilda, now Empress of the Holy Roman Empire, was Henry's firstborn and had the strongest claim among his family. Henry had not seen Matilda since 1110, when she had left England to marry Henry V, the Holy Roman Emperor. The marriage was childless, and Matilda, widowed in 1125, was left with a rather uncertain future. Now, in 1126, Henry wondered if she might provide a solution to the succession problem. He called on his daughter to join him in Normandy, no doubt to get better acquainted, and, quite possibly, to discuss the realm's future. Henry also took some time to discuss Matilda's suitability with his leading barons and advisers. In general, they were uneasy about Matilda succeeding her father. After all, there was no precedent of female governance in England. In an era where the role of monarch encompassed politician and soldier, the unsuitability of women for such a position was a sentiment echoed by many. King David of Scotland, the brother of Henry's late wife, and Robert, Earl of Gloucester, however, both spoke out in favour of Matilda, and it was to these men that Henry listened. Thus, in January 1127, Henry named Matilda as his heir, and invited the leading clergymen and barons of the realm to swear an oath of fealty to her, supporting her succession to the throne of England and the Duchy of Normandy. In the meantime, Henry arranged a second marriage for Matilda. The chosen groom was Geoffrey, a 14-year-old who would become the Comte d'Anjou on his father's death in 1129. The pair were married on the 17th of June 1128 in the French town of Le Mans. Shortly after the wedding, Henry once again called on his barons to swear an oath of fealty to Matilda, suggesting that he may have doubted their faithfulness. As Matilda had just married into the House of Anjou, the historic enemy of the Normans, the barons disliked the idea that Geoffrey might rule them in one capacity or another after Henry's death. But, in 1131, Henry acted to make it clear that Matilda was his heir. For a third time, he called on his barons and clergy to swear an oath of fealty to his daughter. The marriage between Matilda and Geoffrey turned sour soon after the wedding, but Henry was able to reconcile the couple and was soon rewarded with the arrival of grandsons. The first, Henry, was born on the 5th of March 1133, while the second, Geoffrey, appeared